Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Journey Across the Galaxy. We are continuing towards Beagle Point after having reset ourselves just a little bit after a slight mishap in our spaceship. Only brought us down to about 70% hull, but we were close enough to Explorer's Anchorage to go back and repair the issue. We're going to continue on looking for exobiology and various scans to try to save up enough money to go buy a fleet carrier and then eventually just kind of take up permanent residence in the black. Before we get too far into this episode, we are pushing towards the 1,000 subscriber mark. We've been kind of inching our way towards there, and your help would be greatly appreciated by clicking that subscribe button down below and helping us get to the point where we can get into that sweet monetization area. So if you wouldn't mind, please press that subscribe button, help out the channel, and be sure to come back for this journey as we continue. We are looking for biological sources. You can see up there in the top right of the screen the biological source, but we're looking for at least 2 before we are going to invest the amount of time it takes to go and scan and land at a planet. So because that was only 1, we are going to ignore that one and just continue looking around hoping to find what we're looking for. But that is a water world, so we're definitely going to go back and try to find, we're going to go back and scan that. But let's finish looking around for potential, I think there's another one. I'm going to keep looking around for potential biological planets, or planets with biology on it, with the hopes that we're going to be able to go scan something interesting. So nothing there. Something here. But unfortunately, it's just going to be, I know it's not that unfortunate, but it's a couple of water worlds. So, we need to get over here. This one's only 285 light seconds away, and we're going to go scan it. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying the journey so far based off of the comments that I've been getting and the viewership and the number of views and the average watch time and all that stuff. It seems like you guys are having fun watching the journey, and I'm really glad about that. It gives me a sense of accomplishment to actually put something out there and people actually want to watch what's going on. And so I'm looking forward to hopefully a long time of making this kind of content along with my hunting content and my trucking content and whatever other games I come out with. And hopefully you guys will continue to support the channel and do all of those cool things that help out with that, liking and subscribing, and supporting the channel through memberships would be super awesome as well. Trying to get to the point where hopefully I can be doing this full time, and that can only happen with enough support. So if you're of a mind to help out with that, please consider doing so. Let's get close to this planet, get our probes down, then we got to go find the other one, because water worlds are one of the 3 high-value planets that we are willing to go out of our way to go scan. So it's 6 probes for this one, so it's relatively small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And then we need to find the other one. I don't remember. I think it's that one. Yep. When the darker part of the planet is kind of on the bottom left in that hologram, that's a water world. So I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Yeah, it says water world there on the. Okay, and then we will accelerate as quickly as we can. And get ourselves over there. I kept thinking I was wanting to kind of grind back to the bubble, just jump all the way back so I could hop into a Diamondback Explorer, because I wanted to be. I've been really frustrated with some of these places where we're trying to land, and I'm having a hard time landing because my ship is just like a little bit too big for some of the areas where we need to get into. But I changed my mind because realistically, in my personal opinion, the Crate Phantom is the premier exploration ship in the game. I know it doesn't jump quite as fast. It doesn't jump quite as far as the Diamondback Explorer or the Anaconda, but just it's the right sweet spot in all of the different areas. It allows you to carry a spare SRV, which is very nice, but it's small enough and maneuverable enough to be fast when you're not super cruising and you're actually just on thrusters and stuff. And there's just, I don't know, in my opinion, there's just a lot of good reasons. The cockpit view is pretty nice compared to what the Diamondback gives you. Sort of. I mean, if I was in VR, it would be a little bit better because I could look down and actually see what's on the ground there. But I don't really fly much in VR because my system doesn't really handle it very well, and because the headset, I have a Pimax 5K, which is, you know, a pretty good headset. It's just the Pimax headsets are very big and heavy, and they're just not very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. So I'm hoping that at some point, if I can, you know, start making some decent money and be able to upgrade my system a little bit and I want to buy that big screen Beyond headset, because that's supposed to be super comfortable and you can wear it all day, almost pretty much all day, without any kind of negative physical effects. I find that my neck starts hurting if I try to wear my headset for any more than, say, 30 minutes to an hour. And especially if I'm going to be playing some of the games that I want to play, they take a long time to do. All right, so that's that. Let's get the next system in our route. We need to turn all the way around.
Frameshift drive charging.
The probe scans should be pretty much done before we hop out of the system. So I don't generally wait for that to start charging my drive. Let's go ahead and get on our way.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
So while I'm super excited about the idea of making the crazy amount of money that I made over 1 billion credits on my trip from the bubble to the center of the galaxy there, and that was great. But it did take us, you know, almost 2 months to make that trip because I'm only doing 30-minute episodes and we're only stopping for, you know, certain things. So the trip to 5+ billion credits to be able to buy a fleet carrier is going to take us months to accomplish. It's not going to be a quick thing to get done. You know, I could grind on my own time and, you know, try to speed that along, but I also want you guys to be here for, you know, as much of the journey as you can be. And that means, you know, not going off on my own to do things, and that's fine with me. It doesn't really bother me to do that. Okay. So, let's see. We need some biological signatures here. So that's geological. That doesn't help us. What can we get? There's something here. Okay, just need some biological features. I have not gotten very lucky in the last few episodes finding the stuff that we're looking for. It's mildly annoying. Oh, there's something here. Okay, come on. Still nothing. Okay, and then all that's left now is a gas giant, so that's fine. Let's get out of here then. Oh well. I'm hoping that by the time we go all the way out to Beagle Point and then make our way back all the way to the bubble, we'll have made enough money by then to buy a fleet carrier and outfit it, and still have enough money to buy a bunch of tritium, and preferably, if we have enough money to pay our maintenance fees for an extended period of time, I can have that kind of safety and security of not having to worry about my fleet carrier being decommissioned because I'm not able to pay for it. Several of my viewers have left comments letting me know that, you know, it's not that hard to make the money that you need for it. And I believe you, but at the same time, the amount of money that is required every week is much more than I've ever, the most I've ever had has been like 500 million or something like that. And that was after a lot of grinding. Now I have 1.3 billion right now because of the, you know, the exobiology data that I've sold, but I still don't have that. It's one of those things where you just have to get used to the new norm, and, you know, I'm not there yet. I'll feel more comfortable once I have the fleet carrier and then I'm out in the black and I'm consistently making enough money that I don't have to worry about maintenance and any of that other stuff. Especially if I can get to the point where the exobiology is making me enough money that I'm, making a massive profit on top of having enough money to pay my, however much it's going to be. It's going to be like, I don't remember. I looked up a fleet carrier calculator, and depending on which services you have, it can go pretty high into the maintenance. But because of the minimal things I'm looking for, I think it was like 18 or 20 million a week. Which, as long as I'm active and constantly doing exobiology shouldn't be a problem. But if I ever need to take a break for a while, well, I need to make sure I have enough in the coffers to cover that. Because I tend to get bored with Elite and then take long breaks, and I don't come back for months or even over a year or more. And I'd like to have enough. I'd like to have enough in the fleet carrier bank to make sure that I'm good. Let's see. Okay, well, that takes care of all of those. What's this here? Is that a gas giant? Yeah. What is this? Yeah, that takes care of that. We need some biological signatures, my friends. This is getting ridiculous. It's the second episode in a row where we're not really coming up with anything. Give me something. Give me something. You can do it. Come on, Elite Dangerous. Give me something. We're trying to make money out here, and you're not making it easy. I want that easy money. Where's the easy money? It's never easy. Don't you hate living in a world where nothing is ever easy? I know I do. I complain about it a lot to myself. It's like, why can't anything, like nothing is ever easy. Nothing. Nothing in my life is ever easy. Nothing ever just kind of gives itself to me, makes it easy for me to do. No, you always have to fight everything. You always have to put a lot of effort into everything. And at some point, I'd like to get to a place where I don't have to strain for every little thing, And it's too bad because we live in a world today where technology is to the point where we really shouldn't have to do that anymore, especially those of us who are fortunate enough to live in the United States. But somehow we still manage to screw each other over enough to where, a significant portion of the population still has to bust their ass. Just kind of sucks. First world problems, I know, but I live in the first world, so I have those problems. Not sure what else to say about that. I could BS you and say, oh, well, I'm grateful that I don't have to live in some of these other places that people have to live. And, intellectually I am, but I still have problems, My problems may be different from their problems. I totally acknowledge that, but they're still problems, and I still have to stress out over them, and I still have to deal with them, and I still don't want to. So, the suffering is relative, and my suffering is different from another person's suffering. They have different things. We all have different things that we suffer on. Let's see. So it's like it's the whole thing about people look at we all look at rich people and be like, man, I wish I could have the problems that they have, and it's like, no, you don't. You don't really want the problems. You just want access to the resources, and obviously we think that having that kind of money would give us peace of mind because we don't have to worry about money anymore. But the reality is that there's kind of a sweet spot when it comes to money. When you have enough money that you don't have to worry about paying your bills, and you have enough money to, put a roof over your head and food on the table and pay a car and all of that stuff. Once you reach that amount of money, additional money after that doesn't really do anything for you. Not as far as happiness goes. It's just kind of the way it is, because when your focus is on trying to acquire stuff, you get into this really bad feedback loop where you acquire some stuff and then all of a sudden now you want more stuff because the stuff you had is not satisfying anymore. And especially here in America, anywhere in the West where, we are advanced economies, we've fallen into that trap of, more stuff. We need more stuff. I need a bigger house. I need a better car. I need better this. I need a better that. And it's kind of unfortunate. It's understandable. It's understandable to how we go down that path. I'm just as guilty as everyone. I have things that I want that I wish I could have, and money would solve that problem for me. But you got to learn to make do with what you have and at least try to be happy with it. It's very hard. I'm not any good at it. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be better about it, but I'm not. But I mean, I'm kind of at a point now where I can understand my shortcomings in that department, and at the very least, I'm not bitter about it. I still want certain things, but I don't really get bitter about it anymore because, you know, what is getting bitter about it going to accomplish for anybody? Not satisfied with not having these things, but at the same time, I can't, like, snap my fingers and make it happen, so why get mad? What's over here? Primarily, I just want to get back... I want to get to a place where I'm not tethered to one location, and preferably get to a point where I don't have to work for anybody anymore. I am so sick and tired of working for people, working for companies, working for businesses, having a place where I have to go in and they get to tell me what to do all day. I really want to get out of that horrible loop that most of us have found ourselves in for most of our lives. It's kind of the reason why, you know, life right now has kind of forced me into leaving that a place where I'm seeking that security of having a job and trying to figure out some kind of way of making money on my own, and I haven't really figured out how to do that yet. I mean, obviously I'm hoping that my channel is going to get to that point where it's paying the bills and I can be an independent person making my own money and not having to worry about someone else, you know, determining what my schedule is going to be and determining what my duties and responsibility are going to be and deciding to change those things under threat of not paying me anymore. Like, in my opinion, there's nothing worse than when you have a boss that thinks that, well, I'm paying you, so I get to tell you what to do. And it's like, no, I agreed to specific duties and responsibilities for this position, and you don't get to come in and change what we agreed to because, you know, you're paying me to be here. It's like, no, you're paying me to do a job, and I'm doing that job, and you don't get to change the job after we agreed. That's not how all this was supposed to work. So I've been lucky enough to have some pretty good bosses. I can't really complain too much about the bosses that I've had, except, you know, they all have a tendency to want to continue to add things to the expectations of your job rather than hiring somebody else, which from a business perspective obviously makes sense. But as an employee, you want to be in a position where you can push back on that without having to worry about, oh, I'm going to lose my job if I don't do this. It's a very horrible place. Like, there's a saying. It's something along the lines of, it's something along the lines of you can't negotiate properly unless you're able to say no. And if you can't say no, then there is no negotiation. You have to do what you're told. That is the absolute worst position to be in, whether you're a business, whether you're an employee, whether you're in any situation. If you don't have the ability to say no, you have no bargaining power, you have no authority, you have no control over your life, and that's like the worst place to be. And unfortunately for the vast majority of the human population, we're all in that boat together. We don't have the ability to say no. We need to eat, we need money to eat, and we have to get it from somebody who has it, right? There's no way around that. So for those lucky people who have been able to figure out how to make their own money in a way that doesn't require them to bend their knee to somebody else, you know, that's the dream for everybody, I think.
Fuel sweeping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
All right, there were only 2 bodies in there. It's a binary system, so we're just going to move on. No sense in scanning that. So, you know, that's one of the things I'm trying to accomplish with this channel now that I'm finally starting to see it grow a little bit, is I'm hoping I can grow it into something that will become, you know, my business. It will become something where I'm able to make something with my own effort and turn it into money that will support me and my family and allow us to maybe do some things in life that I've been wanting to do for a very long time but haven't been able to because I've been tethered to an office, or I've been tethered to a specific location, or whatever. You know, it's there's too many limitations in the standard American job that I really want to get away from. You need to start looking for a place to land, though, because Although I, had the whole last episode fully in space and started this episode in space, this will be the last episode I record for today, and I like to log off on a planet. For those of you who have asked questions about that, no, it does not make a difference whether you log out in space or log out on a planet. I think there's a timer before your ship actually disappears so that you can't just log out in a bad situation and avoid it. But either way, whether you're in space or you're on a body, it makes no difference as far as safety. I could log out right here and it'll be just fine. I just for the role play of it, I like to land on a body so that I can feel like, oh yeah, park the ship, turn it off for the night, go to sleep, get some rest, come back for the next one. So with the 17 bodies on this one, no valuable ones, but either way, I think if we find a landable planet, we're just going to go ahead and pop down and be done. So we don't have too much time available in this episode. I like to keep my episodes under 30 minutes wherever possible. Anything else there? Nope. Okay, got any more? Be nice if we could find some. All right, so that's at least a landable planet. If it has geological features, it's definitely landable. Doesn't mean there, but we're really looking for biology. Be nice if we could end this episode up with some biology, but I don't know. We've just had some really horrible luck lately with finding planets that actually have something in it. Feel like we're gonna have the same problem with this one.
System scan complete.
Okay. Well, the closest landable, closest landable one is that one, so let's get over to that. And we'll get down and put the ship away for the day. So yeah, there's that. Some of you have expressed an appreciation for the fact that I do go ahead and take you guys all the way down through the landing sequence. And, I do that on purpose because I personally enjoy the process. Well, all right, let me qualify that. I enjoy the visual process of, going from space all the way down to the surface. I think that's a cool process. But I do disagree with the way that they chose to implement it. As with most of my complaints about this game, it requires too much manual input from the pilot. This is something that the computer should be able to handle. I should be able to just set the throttle and it just gets me down to the surface as quickly as possible with little to no muss or fuss. But again, there's this like hardcore approach that people seem to have with this game where they think, oh, you're just being lazy. It's like, no, it's just after the first 20 times you do it, it's not fun anymore, and I'd like it to just be automated, please. It's kind of the same thing with the whole autopilot thing. They're trying to prevent people from exploiting the game, but it's like, I'm sure you could implement ways of preventing people from exploiting the game without preventing us from having quality of life features like a fully fledged autopilot. Clearly, they have the programming to do it because you can hop on a shuttle and it will automatically fly you from system to system. So it's not a programming issue. It's we don't want to put this in here because we don't want to try to figure out a creative way to make this work. And that's kind of annoying. All right. Need to slow down. I would like to get to the Terminator so that we can land in a place where there's going to be a decent sunrise or sunset, whichever way the planet happens to be rotating. Let's get this turned off because it's continuing to try to affect my ability to fly the ship. And I think we'll probably try to land over on this right here, this area.
Flight engaged.
So like this right here is so fiddly. I should be able to just put full throttle and it automatically adjusts my speed to make sure I don't crash. Like as long as I'm not coming in way too fast, it should be able to just adjust my speed for me. But if I put full throttle even right now, we're gonna hit the drop area so fast that it's just gonna drop me, and then I'm gonna take damage, number one, and then number two, I'm gonna have to take forever getting all the way down to the surface, and that's really annoying. So you have to be like super careful until you get down to less than, say, 10 kilometers a second. Then you can really start bumping the throttle back up. I mean, you can do it earlier than that. I'm just saying 10 kilometers a second is where you know you're safe, and you don't have to worry about an arbitrary, oh, you were going just a little bit too fast, we're going to drop you and damage you now. I don't have patience for arbitrary things like that, and I don't know. We're sitting here flying these super advanced spacecraft, but somehow we have to do all of this manual flying, and just I don't get it. If a Cessna 172 can have an autopilot installed that will basically fly you from the time you take off all the way almost until the time that you land, I don't understand why my ship can't do that. And in an efficient, effective way, and not punishing me because I want to use autopilot. Like the Super Cruise Assist that's on these things, you pay for that. If you want to just completely leave it on autopilot, you're going to pay for that with the amount of time it takes you to actually get places, because they force you to fly slower to do that. I don't understand that either, but whatever. No, you have to pay a penalty if you're going to get a benefit. It's like, okay, but it's a quality of life benefit, not a strategic benefit. Anyways, I know I'm complaining. I know some of you don't like that. That's fine. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows that you did and sends the video out to more viewers. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so now, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you will be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my videos, so consider joining with that join button to check out the list of tiers that are available, and think about supporting me directly as a content creator. So again, thank you very much for your time. I hope you guys had lots of fun, and I'll see you for the next one.